But man, him and that man, what is one of the biggest misconceptions about Trayon White?
One of the biggest misconceptions about Trayon White. Yeah, damn, I don't know what they be saying. What they
I don't know, but you know they always got something. You know,
always got something.
Somebody got something. I know it's something you heard that line like, man, what the hell they say that? They got me all twisted,
I know one
man.
of the things that irked me is that it happened yesterday. They said, man, dang, are you only working Southeast?
Oh, okay.
I hear that all the time.
Right, yeah.
It's like if I'm the mayor of New York, I'm not gonna be working or doing mayoral stuff in Washington D.C.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And it's not necessarily those dichotomies, but it's just like, man, I have a service to the ward that elected me, right? Because I'm the Ward 8 council member. Right. But people don't know that Ward 8 got 6 council members. Right. We got the Ward 8 council member, 4 at large, and the chairman, including me. You know, and that's the same for all the wards. Right. And so I asked the average person that say that. I said, name 5 council members.
Oh yeah.
They get stuck. Right. Because you only can say me because you know me, because I'm relevant. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so that's one of the biggest misconceptions. I only work in Ward 8, but I work more than Ward 8, and I don't always advertise it, leaving me working over the jail. I don't have to work over the jail. Right. I'm volunteering doing that. That ain't my job. I'm not even on the judiciary committee. Right. But that's my passion. And that's why I know I got a voice to help that population transition and to help some real men stand up in that jail to keep some of that violence down. Right. Yeah, so I do a lot. I get a lot of heat behind that. They're like, you only in because I'm on social media. Right. I'm probably the most popular politician on social media in DC politics. So I got to take the heat. You know,
then you got that fly stuff on, man. You got the museum. You looking fly. You don't got the museum. Man, you got the fly dress on, man.
I try to wear everybody's stuff. You know,
no, I ain't just talking about that. No, they worried you been wearing. You wear my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
You can look. You come to my papa's and buy.
No question.
Pull your money out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know. Oh yeah, no, I ain't talking. I'm just talking about you being fly. You put the flies. You know what I'm talking about? See, so that's gonna give you some popularity too.
Yeah, man, you know, I spend a lot of money on Hugo Balls and South Carolina. They ain't never done nothing for me or my community. So anytime we had to give it to one of our local minority businesses, man, gotta put it on, man.
And shout out to the museum. They came with him and Greg. Man, we had a good show, man. Good time, man. Solid good dudes, man.
Yeah.
Look, man, you grew up in Southeast. Southeast really was the birth of go-go.
Yeah.
You had to have a go-go band. You played in the band, you a drummer, talking. What you do? I know you did something.
I had a little small go-go band in the basement of the building, man. How you know about it? It was called Wayne Head.
Wayne.
Yeah, I was the leader of the whole group. It was actually me, 4 of my little cousins and my little brother.
Right,
Yeah, I had put some stuff together. My older cousin Fetz had left some stuff in the house.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, I took his stuff and made us a little band.
You made a little band?
Yeah, man. But the band fell apart, man.
Why you named Wayne Head, though, man?
My little cousin named Dwayne.
Yeah.
And I had a song I made him called Wayne Head.
Right.
He had a big old head. He got a Wayne Head. But that's my little cousin. But, you know, it fell apart, man. You know how it is, the group dynamics.
Right.
Everybody want to be the leader, but we had a lot of fun. And we was just making too much noise in the hallway.
Right, yeah.
I grew up in an apartment, so we'd be in the laundry room and cranking. Cranking good for 2 summers, Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
We had 1 song for 2 summers.
Did y'all ever get to a cookout or anything? Y'all ain't never take the show outside with the grass,
if
man.
If you move our equipment too much, it's going to fall apart. You got to keep it still. You got to throw a sheet over in the laundry room. Nobody don't touch it.
Man.
Yeah, we had some raggedy equipment, man.
So give me your top favorite. I know you like all go-go bands, but give me your top 3 favorite go-go bands.
Man, I can't do that, man.
Oh, come on, man. They not going to take it personal, man. Hey, man.
I can't do that.
Hey, look, man. Okay, give me your top 3 leads. Give me your top 3 leads rappers there, man. You can't give me that neither.
Man, it's a lot of. I think it's like a lot of the older bands that's doing a remarkable job keeping. You know, historically in DC, go-go has been our music. Did you see that somebody had a go-go band? And where was that? It was out of town. Where was Ohio? They got a go-go band in Ohio.
No.
You seen
that?
that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
How long that been existing?
This on social media last week.
Is it new or they had it for years ago?
Man, I don't know. They was in there cranking too, man. Had a go-go band in Ohio. But I say that because with GC being so gentrified, the go-go band community had to really raise up in the last 2 years because the new people moving in were saying, man, keep the noise down. And so I know Don't Mute DC, some of the go-go community stood up and started fighting against that, saying that this is our sound, this is our community, this is our DC. Yeah. And so it kept the social fabric and the culture strong in the community. I was talking to LaToya Foster to run the Office of Cable Television and Entertainment.
Sister,
that we gotta figure out a way to keep our sound going in DC, man, and empower those young men and ladies on the front line, keeping our music loud and vibrant. Right. You know, I've been seeing some of the go-go bands like Backyard them going to Africa.
Right.
I'm like, man, you know, I was listening to Jay Son talk about the Congas and the Congos, how that came from Africa. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Right. So who are some of the hip hop artists in DC you listen to? I know you listen to the Wale's and Shy. Any up and coming youngers you listen to that you've been paying attention to?
Not really, man. I listen to I do mentoring inside the schools. So it's really like whoever the youngest I'm around, whatever they listen to, I listen to try to figure out what's going on because the sound is in the music. You know, you can figure out what's going on in the community with the dynamics of the streets through the music, man. So I think that I don't really know a lot of the artists, honestly. I might look like I do, but I don't. But I try to stay in tune to what's going on. I know, like, you know, some of the different neighborhood artists are going. I don't try to mention them because there's too much beef going on with the BS, man. Because our thinking has to be elevated to a level where we can have sound judgment to support all people. Because DC, you know, we looking to elevate some of our artists in the music and in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna say some names and just give me whatever your thoughts about these people. Muriel Barry.
Legend, man. Yeah, I don't think I'd be who I am if it wasn't for me rubbing lives with a genius like that. Muriel Barry was a political genius. And his heart and his charisma and his intellect was profound. That's echoing throughout generations. And I was just grateful and thankful because, you know, growing up in DC, everybody got a story about Muriel Barry. And it was like, man, I was just thankful that God allowed me to rub lives with him before he transitioned. And my story is intertwined with his story. Yeah.
The current mayor of Bowser.
I like Bowser. I think Bowser got a lot of good intentions. I just think that, you know, she need more people on the ground around her that can kind of enlighten her to what's really going on versus what she think may be happening. And so in politics, Muriel Barry taught me there's no permanent enemies. Only permanent interests. So it's like, man, we got to figure out sometimes, we can always talk about what we disagree on, but we got to figure out how we can agree on things. And we've agreed on a lot of things like the hospital, we built a new homeless shelter. We building a senior home with the Reunion Square. We doing a lot of great things, you know, that she might not always get the credit for. But being a council member, I have to depend on the mayor to put the money in the budget to get some of these things done with the recs and things like that. So, you know, we clash a lot, but it's love there to some degree. Yeah.
Okay, cool. At large, Kenyon McDuffin.
DC native.
Okay.
Solid. Yeah, I like Kenyon. He was one of the first people who embraced me on the DC City Council. It kind of taught me the ropes from what was going on in the inner workings of the council. Because it's one thing being a spectator, trying to figure out what's happening, but it's one thing being in there and it's moving so fast. It's a fast-paced job and it's politics and it's cutthroat. And it's like the streets, really, except you just can't slap or shoot nobody. So it's really the same thing.
That's you draw a good picture right there.
Man, you be looking at what's going on and be like, ain't no way. But you know, you talking about being at the table with 19 billion. Yeah, conversations get real serious real quick.
Serious real quick.
Because you making a decision that's gonna take away from my people. Now we can't have that. And so I like Kenyon. Kenyon put up a good fight. You know, he ran for AG. He ended up running again, back not as a Ward 5 council member, but as an at-large council member. And he really brought DC people from all over the city back to get involved again. Kind of like everybody gave a push for Kenyon, man. You know, and so I think Kenyon is very intelligent, man. He does a lot for minority Black businesses in DC. In fact, he helped us start what we call them right now in Ward 8, the Black Wall Street. And Ward 8, just the MLK Road corridor. We pretty much empowering all those businesses economically so they can stay there when the rent get too high. So they won't no longer rent anymore. They can own their buildings. And that's the power. And we trying to, and so Kenyon McDuffie was integral in that, and some of the laws that's been passed that's seeing public safety as a public health crisis and putting the resources behind that. So I work with Kenyon a lot, man. Even beyond the council. Remember me, Silas, Tony Lewis, Perp, Angel, a lot of us, Greg, Jimmy, we got together a long time ago, Ron Moten, to kind of figure out how we can create a platform that's going to work for indigenous people of DC beyond the wards. And so that started before I was a councilman, so I appreciate him for convening some of those conversations early on.
Yeah, he is a good brother. He actually was one who pointed me to go to the ones, start doing the mentor, the credible message work over there. Yeah. He was talking about that coming together before it actually came together. Lil Greg from the museum.
Family, man. Family. But actually, a lot of the stuff I learned coming up, I got it from Greg. Greg, so people don't know, Greg used to go to Martin Luther King Elementary School.
Right.
And when he was in MLK, I was going to Merchant Sorrel around the corner, but we all grew up together. And he used to draw stuff in class and sell like little drawings in class for $1 to the front to everybody in class for $1.
Oh yeah.
So he was a designer early on.
Right.
And his parents kind of breathed on that, you know, and he had, he got a father and a mother, and he was one of the few kids growing up that had a father that was around, you know what I'm saying, Puncho, brother Fahim. And so when he played with me, I'm number 11, since we was little. I got pictures when we was little kids running around, way back.
Oh yeah.
And so I knew he was gonna make it. Greg graduated 3.8 GPA from V State, and so he was in the music before that with the board administration, him, Mo, and some of the other brothers and sisters. But yeah, man, that's family, man. I leaned to him for a lot of advice. He was in my wedding, Greg solid, man, always have been.
Yeah, great man. That's why I want to get your perspective on that. Jay-Z.
Yeah. I like Jay-Z. I'm growing to like Jay-Z. I'm not a really original Jay-Z fan.
Right, okay.
I'm also a Tupac.
Okay, yeah.
I'm also
I'm
also a Tupac type of guy.
Right,
but you don't have to choose just one.
Right.
But as I get older and really start listening to music as I mature, I realize how cunning he is with his music and how crafty he is with his language, I watched what he said about OJ. He said I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was referencing when Johnny Cochran was fighting for OJ, and OJ got mad and said, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Right.
And OJ just clapped back last week and said it was all taken out of context. OJ was saying that, man, you talking about fight for black people, F black people, fight for OJ. Right. I'm OJ. And and it was crafty how Jay-Z took that and put it in the song. He's like, you're not OJ.
Right,
okay.
Yeah.
And the name of the song.
Right, he flipped that.
So it was crafty. So I started like hearing the lyrics more and make me appreciate this music more.
Right. Yeah. Recently we had Washington come on, Tony Lewis Sr. From doing 34 years in prison.
Shout out to Tony Lewis Sr., man.
Yeah, Tony Lewis Jr. fought and clawed and fought, man. Yeah, man. What's your thoughts on that whole situation, man?
Man, I just feel like we are over-criminalized as black people in America, man. It's supposed to be home of the free in the United States, yet we incarcerate more people than 13 countries combined, man. And unfortunately, black and brown people get the short end of the stick, man. I was at a conference a few years ago at a CJCC conference, and they was even saying, like, people with darker complexions that get convicted for the same crime get more time than people with lighter complexions. Damn. And the head of this brother was in jail for 30 years. I was just with Anton White at a retreat the other day. These brothers did 30 years Tony Lewis did 34 years for a non-violent offense, man. No violence. I know people that did got bodies and came home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Came home, man. Wow. And then to hear Anton's story, he did time for a charge he was never fully convicted of. Never convicted of. You know what I'm saying? He was they never charged him with it. And he did 29 years, 8 months, something like that.
Almost 30.
Come on, man. Come on, man. That ain't happening to no other race of people in American history. It's just modern day slavery and voluntary servitude. It go back to the 13th Amendment, man. I think that to see him come home is gonna give a lot of brothers in that penal institution hope, man. And we seen a lot of big brothers come home and do very well. Ronald. Guys like Marky, you got a lot of Smooth, you got a lot of guys coming home doing remarkable things that's not just sitting on the sideline, but actively getting involved and changing their community. And I think that's important, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't touch on today that you want to touch on?
Oh, well, we touched a lot, Kirk. I didn't know what you was gonna ask me today, man.
Yeah. Hey, look, man.
I was just trying to get the traffic in.
Hey, whatever. I know you gonna be ready. Whatever, actually, man.
Yeah, man.
So it's nothing you can think of to make sure.
It's all love. I just, man, the way the city going, man. I'm concerned.
Right.
Really, right. When we think about the economic disparities in the city, and the race of our people with the homicides and the stabbings and the shootings, and the schools, right? Our kids not doing well academically in school in large numbers, man. It's concerning to me. And I feel like, man, if we don't unify and create a strong agenda, because people say we got a youth violence problem. I say, nah, we don't got a youth problem. We got a daddy problem. It's the absence of strong men active in their community, because we know the black queens in our community held us down for almost three generations, right? It's time for men to start restoring order in our community. And so I'm gonna be doing a call, man, for men in our community to come together. And we want the queens to come too, because we need them, because they got gifts that we don't have. But the reality is, man, it's not a youth problem, man. It's really a man problem. We lack strong men integrating and giving order and structure to our communities, man. So we gotta start. We have to start this work, man. We see what's going on each and every day, and we imagine what's gonna be in the summertime, man. So that's really on my heart over the last couple of weeks, man, going into the summer.
Right. I totally concur with every syllable you just said. That statement right there, man. That's definitely something we need to highlight and get better with the, in the man department, man. Man, I want to just, thank you, man. Really, really thank you for, for giving me time. I know you got a busy schedule. You got somewhere to go. You leave here. I ran into you the other day. You was in the wrong restaurant looking for another event, man. Like you're scheduling, man. You just always on the move, man.
Yeah,
man.
Doing
that, man.
And I had called an Uber. I had to walk all the way to the other event too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we was an outreach city smoker out. The event was like around the corner somewhere, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I like to lead just like a recap of, man, just thinking about your story, and when I think of your story, it's a story that I say perseverance, dedication, spiritual.
Yeah, no question.
Not giving up the fight. I mean, man, you was born in Southeast Washington, D.C., you know what I'm saying? For those who around the country don't know, especially at that time, even now, I mean, it was, you walk outside, you walk into a potential of a felony or being a victim of something, right?
Yeah.
And you chose to be an entrepreneur legally at a juvenile age. You went to school and killed the books, came out, you're a counselor, man. You really a testimony to a lot. Like, someone could look at you and say you can't make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? You're in the house of 2-bedroom with, how many people in the house of 2-bedroom?
It was 8 of us.
Eight,
normally.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So you got. So it's like, Slim, you are a walking testament, man. I think your story gonna be on the screen one day. You know what I'm saying? It's a living motion picture every day you go on. You're still building on it, right? And I think the world gonna be is yours to do what you want to do because you put the work in it, man. I just wish you nothing but more success, more blessing, man, and whatever your endeavors is, man. And thanks for coming, man.
It's an honor, man. God is good, man. Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all subscribe, man. The Kirkbone TV, Trayon White, the councilman, Ward 8. Southeast DC, where he was born and raised.
Born and raised. Shout out to the government, man. My man Miles down the farms.
Yeah,
question.
My man.
Out the park, niggas know me. Kirkbone, little homie. All days. Been a road.
Thank you for watching Changing Jewels on Kirkbone TV. If you like the jewels that we are dropping, subscribe, hit the notification, and share with some friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of Changing Jewels, Kirkbone TV.